Scott Turner had finally found the girl of his dreams.
Oh, God, a woman in my house.
He finally had the perfect relationship.
So you'll be staying another night?
Oh, yes, of course!
When something big happened to change it. Something called Hooch.
Whoa!
You don't know much about dogs, do you?
This is not my dog.
Now he's being swept off his feet and dragged all over town.
What are you doing to this dog?
Oh, I'll just take him for a walk.
All in the name of love.
Oh, this dog loves you, boy.
Touchstone Pictures presents Tom Hanks as a man who'll beg,
Don't eat the car! Take the car!
who'll bargain,
You're not touching the water, the orange juice, crab-apple. What am I supposed to do? Make you a margarita?
who'll pay any price.
97.51. What? Is that pesos? This is for a dog.
He'll take care of your house. You're lucky to have him.
No. What have you done?
A man who'll do anything humanly possible to get the dog out of his bed
Oh, that's it. I'm getting my gun.
and the girl back in his life.
I don't have room for a dog like Hooch.
Not many people do.
Oh, no! You're in my house.
Turner and Hooch.
You know, we've known each other for a while now. I think it's safe for me to say, but are you aware of your drooling problem?
Well, I'm obviously going a little bit further back. We go from 2017, which was a junk year, to 1989, which was a much better year for movies. And I decided, why not stick with Tom Hanks and do Turner and Hooch? This was a last split-second decision, but we clunked out. So I am now reviewing it at a little bit of an earlier time on Sunday. So I will do that in just a second.
I see your mom fixed your SpaghettiOs and meatballs.
Yep.
Why?
They got flushes flying out.
Well, maybe she fixed them for you because they're more than just delicious. Did you know they contain more vitamin A than a glass of whole milk?
Vitamin A?
And as much protein as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Protein?
Even more iron than Brussels sprouts.
What's a Brussels sprout?
Kids may not know what's nutritious, but they do know what's delicious.
Well, since we're doing name calling, so this is I hope you enjoyed this Chemical O's commercial with the kid with the goofy hair who thinks he's eating something nutritious. What? I don't think so. I think that's a boy. Well, we don't know what it is, apparently. The SpaghettiOs aren't going to help with it. It's only going to make it look worse. So, yes, the hair's a little goofy. And like I said, the SpaghettiOs are not going to be good for the hair. It's probably going to fall out anyway. So, yes, this little whatever it is eating the Chemical O's full of MSG. So, yes, his organs will shut down. So he is just, I hope you enjoy this little commercial here. Apparently I learned something about SpaghettiOs. I thought Chef Boyardee made it. Apparently this was called America something else. So yes, it has the finest American chemicals in the SpaghettiOs itself. So yes, I hope you remember these wonderful commercials. And it says kids don't know nutrition. Well, that is so true, especially if you give them that. Where do I have to continue from? Yeah, but well, there were some technical difficulties. I guess my future father-in-law decided to call the phone and then at least to let us know that we had no sound. And at least we knew enough Polish Pegasus to solve the problem instead of keep going without sound. It's very easy to figure out a troubleshooting problem. So anyways, I don't exactly know where I left off, but I hope you enjoyed the SpaghettiOs commercial. I thought it was it was not Chef Boyardee, it was American something. So, oh, we did. Okay, so, okay, fine. Then I just hope you enjoyed the commercial. I'm sure you all enjoyed Chemical O's when you were children. I hope you got the nice taste of metal from the can because I'm sure the metal leaked in. So anyway, going back to Turner and Hooch. Speaking of bad diets, Well, the dog was on quite a diet itself. So, yes, Turner and Hooch starring the great Tom Hanks. Oh, I forgot to introduce the guest here. When I did get this movie, I actually just got skipped about maybe 3 weeks after. So I knew exactly what Scott Turner, who is played by Tom Hanks, was going through. I had to do the exact same thing.
Skipper is like not even a foot tall.
That's not my point.
He did not make it do that, so you're
No, he did not, but I still had to buy the bowl. I had to buy the food. I had to buy the toys. It was a very similar situation. I never had a dog, so I had to, and I got him blind, just like Scott Turner did. So, yes, this is played by the great Tom Hanks, and I did say who he was during the video yesterday for the post, but only 2 people saw that video so far. So, yes, Tom Hanks was in Catch Me If You Can. He was in The Terminal. I did not mention these movies yesterday. Castaway, which I wish they never made.
that one you did mention.
I did, of course. I figured I mentioned Castaway. Mazes and Monsters, Big, the Man with One Red Shoe, Saving Private Ryan, The Green Mile, Da Vinci Code, the second Da Vinci Code, Sully. You actually did see Sully, believe it or not.
I'm not. When?
We both watched it together.
Would I sleep in?
It's possible you fell asleep, but no, you did catch it, and I had to explain the story. So he was also in Captain Phillips, Mr. Banks, the Bridge of Spies, Road to Perdition. These were a couple movies I did not mention yesterday. So I will leave it at that. So Tom Hanks, and he is joined by Reginald Vell Johnson, who we all know is from Family Matters, and Skip is actually moving in this video. So we all know he was in Die Hard. He was in part of Die Hard 2. And like we said, most of his career was Family Matters. We all know him as playing the Winslow father in that show. And of course, his famous line was Steve, go home. So, and he was also in Ghostbusters. He had a cameo appearance as, what do you know, a police officer. This guy plays a cop in everything he's in. In Family Matters, he was a cop. In Die Hard, he was a cop. In Ghostbusters, he was a cop. And in this, he is a cop. So, and as usual in Die Hard, he had, of course, we all know he had Twinkies. So yes, he is. Well, I'm sorry. The joke is there. He liked donuts in Family Matters. So as much as I'm making fun of the idea, well, that's what he did, and he was really soggy around the midsection. So he is Scott Turner's replacement. He's not his partner. Scott Turner, played by Tom Hanks, wants to go to Sacramento. I don't know why anybody would want to go there, but he wants more action. He's a cop. California, it's the capital. I heard it's not that nice. So he does not like the slow moving action in the little town that he's in now. So he wants to go to the big city because I guess he wants to see more crime. That actually sounds really depressing. So he's in a small town now where there's not really much action going on yet. There ends up being a lot of money discovered at the dock. This could mean nothing, but the old guy who lives in a boat, his name is Amos. He's played by John McIntyre. And he has his dog, Hooch, who is a humongous dog. And it lives on muffins and chocolate chip cookies, and it drinks beer. So.
No, not you.
No. No, not at all. This is pretty much what this dog lives on. He doesn't really look like he's in great condition either. He looks like George Wendt. So, he's a really big actor. He was a beer drinking person in the show Cheers, who needed 2 bar stools. So, oh yes, the AC is working. That is good news in Florida for now. So anyway, so moving on here. So So, anyways, Craig T. Nelson is the police chief, and he gets word of this. This kid finds about $23,000. That wouldn't that be nice? So then, if it is not claimed by anybody, the money is his. Isn't that interesting? So at least I think it's $23,000. So so the money is turned in. Craig T. Nelson is handling it supposedly. So so he talks to the old guy, and he says that he hears noises at certain times of the night. So Scott Turner kind of blows it off, and and then he thinks nothing of it. Well, later on that night, Amos hears a noise outside and is sadly then killed by the criminals. So now there's a murder. There's hardly ever a murder in that town. So it is different for Scott Turner and his trainee, Mr. Sutton, there. So they are now handling this murder case. And the only thing close to a witness is the dog Hooch. So Hooch is saved instead of being put to sleep. And that's when he runs into the vet, played by Mayor Willingham. I think that's her name. She was in Wyatt Earp. She was in The War. So so here she is in Turner and Hooch, and I will actually be showing the first clip in just a little bit. So what happens is, because he's close enough to being a witness, he now has to go home with Scott Turner, and he's a neat freak. He is I'm not going to say a germaphobe, but he really likes things organized. He doesn't like chaos, and now he gets this huge dog in his house. So he has to buy everything for it. He has obsessive compulsive behavior.
It's OCD.
Oh, sorry. I call it behavior. I don't consider it a disorder. That's just what they like to label it as, because they just want to get money out of you. So, anyways, I will be showing the first clip. Well, I'm sure I have it too, and that's fine. Yes, exactly. Everybody has it. Yes. And now I'm starting to remember where oh, yes. So I will be showing the first clip in just a couple seconds, and I will show just this little OCD. I'm going to call it OCB that he has. So this is when he gets muffins, as most cops do. So I will show you that clip in just a second. Well, this is the obsessive part here. This is he just got little crumbs on his suit, so he takes the vacuum and vacuums it up. Now he was talking to him about the files before this scene, so right away his newly replacement there is starting to get a little bit annoyed. And as you can tell from his partner, it looks, or his, I'm sorry, replacement, I probably will get it mixed up throughout the whole movie, just like I called Kay Cheryl in yesterday's video for probably 99% of it. So, well, 99% of it till the end. So, and yes, it does look like that his replacement has about 120 doctor's appointments a day, just like Metal Jesus. So, so anyways, all right, fine. Well, now because of the muffin, it's 121. Now, on the other hand, now if Scott Turner misses a doctor's appointment, it looks like it would ruin his day, or even his week for that matter, because it looks like he's a very nervous person. Rascal was not born when I saw this movie, or when I bought this movie for that matter. I did say this came out in 1989. We didn't actually see this movie until probably 98 or 1999, or even later than that. I think my dad rented it, and we'll find out if I liked it or not. So now I will.
How does skip it with a baby?
Well, you don't know if I liked it. I could have just bought it and just wanted it on for background noise. I don't know. There's lots of possibilities. So he's saying it's possible. No, he's not shaking. He's just breathing heavy. I honestly have no idea. So now I will show the next clip of when we get to meet Hooch. I will show that in just a second. Well, everybody, this is Hooch, and he is a very big dog. So Hooch comes out and pretty much. Oh, I just looked it up. He's the largest French breed, but I forgot the name of it. Something Bordeaux. So it's a very monstrous dog, and it jumped on the nice, clean, and tidy Scott Turner, and he slobbered all over him because he had him in a minor chokehold. Obviously, he learned something from. I guess maybe he watched some good WWE back in the day, back when it was actually amusing to watch.
Well, when this came out, it wasn't a lot.
It was, yes. 1989 was very exciting. So I'm sure he didn't learn it from Greg the Hammer Valentine because that was a very boring wrestler and he just punched in, did a whole bunch of other stupid moves that was very, very boring. Oh, perfect for Generation Boring. They would probably love him. So, anyways, so he has him in a chokehold. So maybe he watched Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That is a possibility. I don't think he got in his accident yet, but I'd have to check up on that. So, anyways, so this is Hooch, and then the old guy was saying about how he's hearing voices coming over from the seafood shop, which is owned by Mr. Boyette, which we will later learn about. So let's see if this guy is running a honest seafood store. Yes. So we will be meeting Craig T. Nelson as well, who is the police chief, and we all know him from the hit show Coach, and he was also in the movie Poltergeist.
Never seen neither.
You would not have seen Coach because I believe it ended before you were born, I think. I don't remember when the last season was. But it was on for a number of years. I didn't care for it, but a lot of people did like it. So now I will show the next clip of when the kids do discover the money. And I was a little bit off. It was they found so far $8,000. It could have eventually been 23,000. So I will show that clip in just a second. Well, these are the children that found that money. Isn't that nice? Okay, so anyway, so the money is nicely in a plastic bag. I guess they knew that Scott Turner was coming, so I wanted to make sure it was nicely in a nice bag. Make sure the corners were all matched up to make his job a little bit easier, because or else he would have been a nervous wreck. And only Tom Hanks could be Tom Hanks here. The kid says that it's his, the bratty children wanting the money. Then he says it's for college. It's the law. I could actually, I mean, it's just Tom Hanks's facial expressions and just his little quirks there are what make him great. And he really hasn't had a huge breakthrough role at this time yet. He did Splash, he did Big, but he hasn't really done like a Forrest Gump yet, but he is definitely getting there. And this movie, you can see it. I know it's a movie with a dog, but you'll see how Tom Hanks really does a good job pulling this off. So now I will show the next clip here of what happens to Amos. So I will show that clip in just a second. Amos is dead. So unfortunately, Hooch saw this whole thing happen here, and it's a sad part in the movie. I do agree with my wonderful bride to be here. That was a very it wasn't a very nice scene, but unfortunately, it is important because without this, we wouldn't have the movie with Scott Turner and Hooch. So obviously, Hooch sees that he does chase the bad guy. He was a little bit too late. So now we will get to see the part here where Hooch is now a witness. Now, having an animal for a witness is kind of interesting because, yeah, he has to cooperate like a human being. And let's see how well that happens because the two animal control people, one ended up in the water as shark bait, and the other one completely chickened out. So now Craig T. Nelson, he did show up on the scene before Hooch, so eventually we will see him. But the sheriff department got there, and Scott Turner insulted them and said that yes, he's going through the protocol book, and that he would like it because it has lots of pictures, implying that he is a comic book reader and likes pictures, and he can't really read well. So he's probably recommending maybe a Ninja Turtles Last Ronin book. So, anyways, so now I will get to the part here where Scott Turner is bringing Hooch in as a witness. This should go over well. 200-pound dog with a little chain around his neck and a really junky car. Let's see how this works. My favorite scenes here. So obviously, Hooch is not cooperating. He does promise some chocolate chip cookies, and then of course they go in the Turner sort of goes through the car. Things go wrong here. A lot of things go wrong here. He goes through the car, the door closes. So then he figures, oh, I'll just drive him to the vet. But instead of taking him in the car, Hooch is walking down the street. He's just sort of trotting along there. So I did actually enjoy the scene a lot. The one coming up where he meets his future girlfriend that he does have a Ric Flair thing with, Mayor Whittingham. We get to meet her in just a second. So we'll see how this little vet trip works. Because now he has to handle this dog and get it up the stairs and get it into the vet. And dogs love going to the vet. Well, the only way he gets in there is because he sees a female dog, and let's just say Hooch wants to have a little Ric Flair action with it as well. So now we will get to, yes, I know, now people are going to get nightmares. So now we will see this part in just a sec. Now, people probably know how I felt about this scene. I want to, maybe you could tell the viewers how you liked it, since it was your first time actually seeing this. So did you find this scene funny? Okay, so well, we have one person that has never seen this movie before. I've seen it a few times, and I actually do think this is classic Tom Hanks. I really don't think anybody else could have pulled this part off. They remade this movie, and I just found out, and just looking at the scenes, it was very, very painful. I really needed some type of pain medication when I saw that, because it was, you know, I think that's why I had another glass, because I think that's why I chugged it down, because it was brutal. I don't even know what actor played the part, but it just did not look good at all. And oh oh I don't think I can. I just saw one clip for 5 seconds and I had enough. So I just really don't think anybody else can pull this off. And this is classic Tom Hanks throwing his little voice around and yelling at the dog. And just how he kept saying that, just when he said not enough made me laugh enough. I mean, this is Tom Hanks, I'm not going to lie, so far is carrying this movie. So now let's see how. Well, no, the dog is quite funny too. When
The dog we got hurt, and nobody cares about the hurt dog.
no, I do care about the hurt dog, and just how she when she said he's in poor condition, just looking at his face, just like the dog pretty much saying, "Yeah, I am, but I don't care." So, and my diet is horrible, but I'm going to enjoy the chocolate chip cookies. I don't want to eat the junk that you're about to give me. So, and I'm sure the dog probably had SpaghettiOs as well. So, so now we get to see how Scott Turner is with the dog at his house. And like I said, I had some experience with this. I did not know what I was doing when I got my first dog. So I will, I know they're different breeds. I am very aware. So I will show that clip in just. This is going to be 2 for 1 here. So this is Scott Turner trying to figure out what toys to get, what flea stuff to get, what food to buy, and at least the guy at the store doesn't give him Old Roy. So at least he's giving him Purina, which I don't know. In 1989, was that full of bad stuff? Probably. So so the dog isn't going to live long anyways with this dog food. So and obviously he gets a huge bag, but at the same time the dog decides to make Scott Turner's house one big chew toy, and he just rips the place apart. So this is definitely a part to check out. And I do like the little 2 for 1 here I was able to show. And I do believe the guy at this pet store, I believe he was actually the principal in Family Matters. I think this is Principal Shumata, but I could be wrong. So now they're starting to investigate this. The whole point of this is they're trying to figure out who killed Amos and who the bad people are.
They got sidetracked.
They did get a little sidetracked, and plus there was a whole story here with the dog. So so now he is. They're finding out where to actually look for it. So now they're gonna. So now Scott Turner figures out that dogs have really good senses of smell. So he's going to have them sniff the money, and they're gonna actually bring this dog into the seafood shop. I think this might be a sanitation problem, but this is the United States. We don't really believe in regulations, anyways. So I will show that scene in just a second. Well, here's the little seafood market here, and Hooch jumps right in, sniffs the money, and then he's climbing all over the fish. Well, now the fish is contaminated, so now the only place I can get this hand on this fish would probably be a Red Lobster or possibly a McDonald's when they sell their fillet of fish. Hey, it's the only way they can actually get real fish. So, yeah, so Hooch sniffs out the money, so now they are onto something. So now I am going a little bit backwards here, where the last clip is actually going to be when Hooch actually sniffs out who killed Amos. And that will be the final clip that I will be showing, because then I'm sorry to say, you will have to catch this movie for yourself. I believe it is streaming on Disney Plus, but I could be wrong. So
This one should be.
it is. I know for a fact it's on a streaming service because that's where I actually got the short from, was one of the streaming services, but I don't remember which one I had on. I want to say it was Disney Plus, but I could be wrong. So I will show the final clip in just a couple seconds. Well, this is the final clip that I'm showing, and Hooch obviously rips that entire police office apart just to get to this guy who he figured out was the guy who killed his owner. And the guy who says, we got to get out of here, that is Boyette. He's an important person of the town. He owns that little seafood market. So Boyette is actually behind this. Somebody else is behind this as well, but unfortunately, not going to tell you who that is. Okay, so I just pretty much said what the little twist is, but guess what? You didn't hear it. So you're going to have to find out whatever streaming service this movie is on. And this is, we did watch this movie as a family. So yeah, it is a family friendly movie. It's rated PG. It has some language and maybe some suggestive scenes, but there's really nothing major in this movie that's really bad.
So if you watch it as a family, it ain't that bad.
No, no. Well, we shouldn't say that because we did watch some iffy movies as a family, but this really is a pure family movie. This is not like Major League.
What's your parents? I doubt it.
We watched Major League, but it was very edited. My parents fast forwarded a lot of parts, so this movie doesn't need any of that. So, so yes, so he does end up dating that. Obviously, Emily Carson once probably will end up being Emily Turner, but again, I'm not going to tell you what exactly happens. Does she move or does he decide to stay? We don't know. So now, if I had to grade this movie, I would definitely give this a very strong B. This was highly entertaining, and Tom Hanks, like I said, he really did have a lot to do with that. Craig T. Nelson was good. Reginald Vell Johnson was good. This was casted well. This was directed well. I believe the budget was only $7 million, and it did make money. That I definitely know. So at the box office, I think it made 23 million. So it obviously did very, very well. This is a movie I do strongly recommend. I would recommend seeing this 3 or 4 times if you want to. I bought this very, very cheap, but there was no streaming services when I bought this movie. Now you can probably stream it for free, but I recommend getting a copy because they raise their prices or they just take the movie off. So subscribe if you want. Or I'm sorry, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.